you're gonna have to push yourself past mentally where you wanna go. And that's a good thing to train prior going into these selections, because you're gonna get pushed to those places in your selection as well. So here we go. Here we go. Sauna's going in, rigs up. For the most part, I have a couple little things to do, but yeah, it's coming back together. Gonna get to actually be do a little more CrossFit style stuff that I have been missing for the last 3 years. A rope climb, muscle ups. I'll get the rings up soon, and just being able to do it all year round. Right? We're getting ready to get warmer weather anyways, but you know, when winter does roll back around, which always comes too soon for me, I'll be able to continue to do it. Because if you can't hear, that heater's pumping, baby. It's gonna get hot in here. We're gonna hit a military workout today for my military athlete crew. I get so sick and tired of seeing people get fed bad information on how to train for a selection. And so we're gonna go over that today, how I basically program for my military guys, how I trained myself when I was going in to be a SEAL. So really excited about that, but also got a package in the mail and I'm very stoked about. Suji blood flow restriction cuffs, the company that I have, you know, I talked to them for a long time ago. They sent me some stuff and now I'm just really pumped on this. They have a second generation cuffs that are out now that are Bluetooth. So you can actually use them through your phone, turn them on and off through your phone. There's no cords and everything like that. So really pumped. I just got it in the mail. So we're gonna open it and check it out together. Nice little carrying case. We got some cuffs, our leg cuffs. So you got right here, this is where you're gonna connect the devices. Just attach them on. These things are it's so cool. I've been waiting for this to come out forever. You told me about it and very pumped. So these are the arm cuffs or my kids' leg cuffs. Just in case they don't know. But yeah, I use these ones and they use these on their legs. They like to give me shit about because they're my kids, but you know, they have to use these on their legs and I don't, so. And then here looks like the devices. Very cool. So, this is the charging. Nice. The charging box. And then, so you actually just put them both in the box. Okay, oh, there they go. Oh, nice. So you charge the whole case for both of them to charge. That's pretty awesome. Wow, this is nice. I like this. I like this setup. After you wrap this on your cuff, you just, boom, pop it on, turn it on, and now you got your blood flow restriction. That's sick. Very cool. Heck yeah. Hopefully they're charged and we can actually get a warm-up in with them. It does not look like they're charged. It's all right. And then you'd go to like your solo exercise, connect your Suji. If you had them turned on, they'd connect Bluetooth. I think I'm gonna have to charge these bad boys though, straight out of the box. Very cool. I am super stoked. That is awesome. I like the quality. I've played with other brands and other ways to do blood flow restriction, and man, I'll tell you what, Suji dialed it in. It's a great product. I never have issues with the cuffs or anything like that, and you know, being able to just pop it onto your app on your phone and dial it up to like your percentage pressure. Like it's always supposed to be like around 80% is like kind of where you can use it for recovery or workouts, whatever. Or if you want to, you know, if that's too much, you can dial it back to 70 or 60%. And it's all super easy on your phone to do that. So I'm gonna get these bad boys charging. And because Suji's awesome, they gave us a code. So to give you guys a discount if you want to try them. So the code's BRIDGES, my last name, Bridge with an S. We're gonna warm up with Suji Gen 2s. Very excited about this, something I've been waiting for. This is Gen 1, just to give you guys the comparison, right? If you've never seen this before, right? These are your leg cuffs, but this is the tubing, right? This is how you inflate it as opposed to this. So quite a bit easier, quite a bit more convenient. I'm so stoked. Knee injury is when I really got introduced to blood flow restriction, man. And I tell you what, it has been a game changer, getting the strength back, being able to work that leg out on the injured side, and the recovery pieces with it, all of it is just, it has been an absolute game changer. Something I truly believe in, a lot of great science on it, research on it. So yeah, if you haven't heard of blood flow restriction, it's targeted compression into areas. You're restricting blood, you basically allow blood in, but don't allow the blood to come back out. You do some work on it, very light loads, and then once you release the cuff, you get all this new blood flow coming back in, new nutrients, new hormones coming into that area that you are targeting. So absolutely game changer. I use these for warming up. It's a great way to get the joints loose. You can obviously do workouts with it when it's maybe a lighter day is a great, because you don't have to go heavy on these. And then obviously a great way to recover. Just throw these on and get on a bike for like 3 to 4 minutes at a time. I think it's like 3 sets, 3 to 4 minutes, 2 minutes rest in between with the cuffs off. And I'll tell you what, my joints feel so much better when I do that. My knees, if I have a heavy squat day or high volume day, my joints are hurting, man, I do that recovery piece and it's like they're brand new.
What does it feel like?
Really tough compression. Yeah, it's not that enjoyable, to be honest. And so the thing is, for the warm up, you don't have to let it get too crazy. But when you're in the workout or you're recovering, it's gonna get pretty nasty. But right now it's, these things are I'm gonna come down just a little bit. You actually calibrate them to your legs, and so these are a little tight right now at 80%. Oh, you pop them off and or you can actually use the remote or you just pop them off. I'll tell you what, that deflate feels real good. And that's the cool part about these things is how quick it works. You don't have to sit and do this crazy long warm up. Basically, when you deprive the muscles of oxygen, it's gonna make more muscles fire. And so that's why it's a good way to warm up as well. So there you go, Suji Gen 2. Go check them out. Joint pain, recovery. Don't wanna hit the heavy weights some days. This is a great way to still get great work in. Atrophy from any sort of injuries. A lot of times this can really help with atrophy. So it's awesome. The blood flow restriction targeted compression is absolute game changer. So I believe in it wholeheartedly. Been doing it for years now, and I'm just so cool. It's so thankful that a company came out with, this wireless, no tubes, easy to use from your app on your phone. Makes it so much more convenient. So there you have it. So what we'll go into now is military athlete program. Again, this is what I did to prepare myself to go into BUD/S and become a Navy SEAL. When you have a big goal, like trying to join a selection, right? Whether it's military, firefighter, law enforcement, any job where your physical fitness is a requirement, you're gonna need a plan, right? And there's a lot of not gonna say bad, let's say different information out there that I would use. I did the research, figured out what I needed to do, what I needed to have strong, and really attacked those things so that I knew that when it came time in my training and I couldn't fail, I didn't have to worry about if I was gonna be ready or not. So the two things that I really realized that I needed was strong legs and a strong mind. And that's kind of where the weak legs, weak minds kind of came in. I saw so many guys break down because their legs broke down on them, right? People get shin splints because they haven't trained their legs hard enough, right? They get injured because they're just not prepared. So yeah, that's why I decided to come out with this plan, because when I was getting ready and going through, if someone would have been like, yeah, I did this, I made it through on, not bragging, but I made it through one class. I didn't have to get rolled back because I didn't get injured and I didn't, have to worry about if I properly trained. I knew that I had. So that's why I made this plan. So if you have a goal where your life really depends on it, then this is the plan for you. What we're gonna do today, we do a lot of grunt style workouts, right? So it's not very little skill in the movements that we use. Movements that are gonna challenge us physically and mentally, right? So we know when we need to be pushed or when we get pushed in our selection, that we're gonna be all right, because we've trained harder than those instances that are gonna arise in training. A big emphasis is on legs, but we still hit obviously upper body. We do running, we do swimming, but we do also lift weights, because that's really the only way to get your legs stronger. Your legs are gonna break down on you. And unless you've trained squatting, lunging, box step-ups, weighted, deadlifts, right? Power cleans, explosiveness, right? Those are the ways to get your actual muscles firing and stronger. They're gonna last longer when you need them.
Where did your goal to join the Navy come from, and why the Navy?
So for me, it was a lot later in life. I was just kind of working a shit job, being a loan officer, and I was really hating my life. And then a buddy of mine that I was working with, we went to lunch one day, and he's like, man, I think I'm gonna go try to be a Navy SEAL. It's something I've wanted to do since I was a little kid. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. I'd never even heard of a Navy SEAL. And I've told this story many times on podcasts and stuff, but yeah. And so I, was just in a bad place, missing like sports and competition. Not that going into a selection like this is a competition, it's a competition with yourself. And those are my favorite kinds of competitions. And so just missing that something, that drive and focus towards a goal. And I just started doing my research on it, and I was like, man, this sounds really cool. And as a little kid, I remember watching movies and thinking, it'd be cool to go test myself, push myself in the military and see, if I was capable enough or not to do it or not. And so at that time, it was like I wasn't even really working out anymore. I'd kind of gone down a shit path. I was eating like shit, drinking, getting overweight, not really doing anything physically, and just really like one day just kind of opened my, when my buddy told me that, opened my eyes, and I was like, oh, maybe this isn't it. Maybe this isn't what I do for the rest of my life, sitting in a cubicle. So I did my research, started training, gave myself a certain amount of time, and just kind of pulled the trigger. I was still pretty young. What year was that? 2000. So that was 2005. So I was 20. It was early 2005. So I was 21 still. So I just turned 21. And yeah, so I mean, it was, I think having that real world perspective helped me. I didn't come straight from high school or college. I had a little bit of real world experience being in a shit job that I didn't want to do for the rest of my life. And that definitely helped motivate me, being like, I don't want to do that. So if this is the route you got to go, like, you better be well prepared and well trained. And, I've had that goal, and then I figured out my plan to get there. And it was, it was fun. It was crazy. It was awesome. It was not something I expected to do. I just kind of like gave myself a year and a half to train, and I felt like that was the right amount of time. And then I enlisted. So I started training for it in 2005, and then enlisted in early 2007. Good times. We'll do a 25-minute AMRAP, as many reps as possible. I like to do AMRAPs in the military style. Sometimes a little longer. Sometimes we'll go up to 40 minutes, 60 minutes, because you're going to have longer evolutions in your selection. And so that, 15 to 20 minute time frame sometimes isn't appropriate. Sometimes you got to go long. Sometimes you got to go 60 minutes. Today we'll do a 25-minute AMRAP. You got box step-ups, right? Which box step-ups mimic a lunge or squatting, just unilaterally, or hiking up a hill. So a lot of box step-ups are great, a great form of getting your legs strong for these types of things. Rope climbs, obviously, in your selection phases, you're going to have rope climbs in almost just about every selection there is. Just a great way to understand how to actually do a rope climb one, just being able to get your feet in the good position to lock your feet in so you can stand up and use your arms and not have to use your arms as much. So you can use your legs on the rope climb. A sled push, just grunt work. Again, leg drive, get you out of breath, get your heart rate up. I love sled pushing. It mimics a lot of great things that you could possibly have to do. Like we had to do a lot of buddy carries where we were dragging sleds, dragging people in a sled that were injured. And then a single arm devil press, right? So again, just, a little, not much skill here with this. And it's just gonna get your heart rate up. These just kind of hurt, right? So it's a burpee with weight, pretty much what it is with one-sided. Normally what there's gonna be is there's gonna be some accessory and some strength with these, but not every day. Not every day will you have strength work. But 4 days out of the week, you're gonna get strength. Comes on the Fitter app. It's 5 days of training, and run progressions, swim progressions, pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups, all the PT tests that you're gonna have for selections. We obviously always hit those as well and get you prepared for those, but we're also getting you prepared for the selection past the PT test, because the PT test is a big part of getting in. I don't think it has as much emphasis on how you're going to do through a selection, but obviously you still want to have good numbers for those PT tests. And so we definitely get you to those great numbers for that. We hammer push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, running and swimming as well. So all of that is important, but I think the thing that lacks most people's plan is this type of movement, right? Where now you're starting to push yourself, because some of this stuff you're just not going to want to do anymore. You're going to have to push yourself past mentally where you want to go. And that's a good thing to train prior going into these selections, because you're going to get pushed to those places in your selection as well. So here we go. So you basically just kind of put your hands on the rope, but you're not squeezing, and it's guiding you down. And then as you get to where you want to stop, then you kind of squeeze again, and you stop right before you hit the floor. And that's basically how you come down the fastest. Well, the fastest safely. The fastest is just letting go. And what's crazy is in the first year, in the 2014 games, that was all you had to do was touch the top, and there was no restrictions on how you came down. So at the 2014 games, when on the legless rope climb, I would touch, and I would literally just free fall to the bottom. And I remember the rope would actually kind of catch between my legs like this, and that actually is what kind of slowed me down, and it made it feel a little better, because it like slowed me on the descent. But man, like that was, yeah. And then they started putting the restriction where you had to control down to, they'd put a piece of tape on. You have to control down below that piece of tape. And that makes more sense. But then you just had to learn how to come down faster. And that fast roping, where you're using the rope to guide with your hands open and then just squeeze right at the end, it's so much faster.
Are all shoes created equally with rope climbs? Do you like your rads on the rope?
All shoes are not created equally, and rads are the best. As you can see, I've done a lot of rope climbs on these bad boys lately, and so no burn marks, no nothing. Man, I'll tell you what, before CrossFit shoes though, like you would just tear the bottom, the whole sole would just burn up. Oh my gosh, I remember watching people use Nike Freeze. And you'd be like, well, those are ruined. Good call. All right, well, nothing left to do it. Remember, we have 25 minutes. So my favorite thing about AMRAPs is everyone has the same amount of time and who gets to push harder, right? So in those moments when you're feeling like you don't want to keep going, that's when you just do one more rep. Let me just do one more rep and see how I feel. Let me just do one more rep, and one more rep yourself to death on these types of workouts, right? Just keep going. And that is the best way to grow your physical strength and your mental strength, right? Knowing that you can just do one more. And I use this not only in my training to prepare for when I was in first selection, my military selection. I used it while I was in my military selection. Like one more step, one more evolution, one more round, one more meal, you know, is always just get to the next thing, right? Don't overwhelm yourself with how much farther you have to go overall, you know. Just get that next step done, next lunch, next meal, next day, right? That's it, right? Stay in the moment, stay present, and know however bad it sucks and how hard it gets, it's going to come to an end. But here we go. Oh yeah. Military athlete program right there. That's a great workout. That's the kind of workouts you're gonna get in this program. It's gonna get your legs strong and your mind strong and get you to your goal. There's so much bad information out there where you just need to do body weight, running, swimming. And yeah, if you want to pass a PST or PT test, yeah, focus on push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, and run and swim, and that's it. But what's going to happen when you get to buds or get to your selection phase and you're asked to carry weight, you're asked to carry a buddy, you're asked to carry a log, a boat, all these things that you get asked to in these selections, and your legs aren't prepared for weight or load. And that's where you're going to struggle. And that's why you see 80% of a dropout rate. This is a no bullshit program. You're not gonna see flutter kicks, because guess what? When you get asked to do flutter kicks, you're just gonna do them. And there is no pass fail when it comes to flutter kicks. And so if you're doing a program that they have you doing a lot of flutter kicks in, man, you're wasting your time. Where you could be doing so much more efficient and effective movements in your plan to get you to your goal. So don't hope your way to your goal. Have a plan and then go get it. This is effective and efficient movements with no bullshit. And you know how I know that they're right? It's because it's how I trained to get through my selection. And I made it through in one class, which isn't a very common thing. So not trying to toot my own horn, I just know that when it came to being prepared, I was over prepared. And when it comes to these type of jobs where your life depends on it, that's what you want to be. You want to be over-prepared and not under-prepared. So don't hope your way to your goal. Grab our plan, grab the plan, the military athlete program, and let's get strong and get you to your goal. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Like, subscribe, do the thing, and as always, don't forget to pay the man.